Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're starting our new unit on fractions, Unit 8, and this is an overview. The two main goals of this unit are to review the uses of fractions and fraction notation, and to help students develop a solid understanding of equivalent fractions, or fractions that have the same value. Our first lesson is Lesson 8.1, Naming Parts of Fractions. The objective today is to guide children as they use fractions to name A of B equal parts. So at this time, boys and girls, we want you to turn to page 180 in your math journal. And you're going to complete problems 1 through 5 only for today's math message. Do that at this time. You may pause the video. Alright, boys and girls, let's see how you did here. Let's look at problem number 1. It says draw an X through 2/3 of the circles. Well, you first might want to think about breaking these up into 3 parts. So if I did that, I could draw a line here and a line here, and now I have 3 sections of circles. Now I had to put an X through 2/3 of the section, so I put an X through 1/3, I put an X through 2/3. Next one, it says label each picture with one of the following numbers: 0, 0/4, 1/4, 1/2, 2/4, or 3/4. 4/4 or 1 is the first example they give you. For number 2, it looks like the cylinder is empty, so that is going to be 0 or 0/4. Number 3, it looks like it's just a very small amount, and that will be 1/4 of the container. Number 4, it looks like most of it's filled, but not all of it, so that is going to be our 3/4. Number 5, only about half is filled up, so that would be 1/2, or another way to say that is 2/4. Friends, here are some things that we need to be thinking about with fractions. Fraction notation is one way to express equal parts of any whole. Decimal notation is another way. So for example, this fraction is 1/4. It also can be stated as 25/100ths, or 0.25. Fractions are not meaningful unless they refer to parts of a particular whole, the one. For example, 1/4 of a large pizza is not the same as 1/4 of a small pizza. A fraction has 2 parts. The denominator names the number of equal parts into which the whole, the one, has been divided. The numerator names the number of those equal parts being used or considered. So you can see here, for example, we have the fraction 3/7. The numerator is 3 and the denominator is 7. Here are some more ideas we'll be talking about throughout this unit. A fraction with the same numerator and denominator names all the parts of the whole, the one. For example, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5, which is also called 5/5, are all equivalent names for 1. A fraction with 1 in the numerator is called a unit fraction. 1/4, 1/8, and 1/25 are examples of unit fractions. Any whole number can be named as a fraction with 1 in the denominator. For example, a fraction named for 6 is 6/1. You could also have 5, another name for 5 would be 5/1. And 3, another name for 3 is 3/1. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to give you the directions for our next 2 pages. If you get to the second page, the first page you're going to work on is the rest of page 180. Each whole figure represents 1. Write a fraction that names each region inside the figure. The try this section states each whole figure represents 1. Write a fraction that names each region inside the figure. And some of these are different shapes, so you have to try that. So boys and girls, here's an extra sheet if you're ready for this. Exploring fractions. These show 1/4, these examples. These do not show 1/4. So for number 1, you're going to have to explain how you can tell whether something shows 1/4. Use words to answer this question. For problems 2 and 3, take numbers of counters, figure out how to show 1/4 of the counters, use the rectangle to the right to make 4 equal piles of counters. Draw a picture to record your answer. Take 8 counters, show 1/4 of the counters. Number 3, take 20 counters, show 1/4 of the counters. Number 4, divide the figure below into 4 equal parts. Now this is going to be different than 2 and 3. Number 5, divide the figure into 4 equal parts another way. Is 1/4 in problem 4 larger or 1/4 in problem 5 larger? Explain your answer on the back of your page. Good luck, boys and girls.